Follow the money.
That's what I always say. You always follow the money.
Yeah.
This is Follow the Money with Mitch Moss and Paulie Howard on VSiN.
Here we go. Welcome in. It is Follow the Money on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. Mitch Moss along with Paulie Howard. We're live in downtown Vegas. Circa Resort and Casino is your spot. A 3-hour banger lined up today. Great guests on the program. Dalen Cuff with a look at the quarterfinals in the World Cup coming up in 30 minutes. We will preview the Scottish Open with Jeff Seeley, Mike Palm on the program, Zach Cohen, tennis, and NBA, and Matt Humans a little bit later on in the show, a little bit of everything with him. Paulie, there is a phenomenal movie that is now 30 years old. It had an award, maybe multiple award-winning performances, including the leading actor, Nicolas Cage. I feel a little bit like him today in Leaving Las Vegas. Not because of the drinking.
Sure.
But because this is day number 28, first time in a month, basically, that we don't have the World Cup. I don't like it. I have like the Nicolas Cage shakes from no World Cup action here.
Yeah, it was bad.
Yeah, you felt the same thing?
He needed the vodka immediately.
Oh, yeah.
How bad it was. Absolutely. I know. It's I'm going to miss it so much when it's gone.
Concur.
Winding down. They did adjust the own goals for the tournament to 14.5. So we have 8 matches left. We can't. Will there be one more own goal? We've had the record already.
Imagine
14.
if we don't now.
I know. 8 matches. You got to get one. Seems too easy. It's got to happen for one, right?
Yeah, I will say this. I know people like the purists, they did not like expanding to 48 teams. Man, I loved it.
It was gold.
I mean, you're going to get teams like Cape Verde in. Please, give me more of that. And for that schedule that we had, where it was like, it felt like 2 weeks where it was 4 games every single day over the course of like 10 or 12 hours, and then 6 matches a day, 3 of them at the same exact time. And then we have just a phenomenal quarterfinals on paper, at least anyway. It was better than advertised.
You can still argue it's wide open.
I would agree.
Or there's good value. Even France to beat England in the exacta 7-1. And France, I wouldn't be shocked if Norway goes to the final. France over Norway is 13-1. But Morocco is live. Maybe
those are good numbers, by the way.
Yeah.
I saw a book last night that were way shorter than that.
Yeah. And England over France is 10-1. So even though France looks great, even there's better numbers on Spain. And how do you fade Spain? They haven't allowed a goal yet. And they could knock out France. And Spain over Norway's 28-1.
Well,
Spain over England's 13-1. So some big numbers out there, even when we're down to the quarters.
Spain over England at 13-1 feels like a bet that I'm going to have to make.
Yeah, that's good.
That's a strong. I think I saw the best I saw when I looked last night specifically for that number was 11-1, and I did not bet it.
Yeah,
13. Now we're talking.
How about this? France, Argentina, Spain, Zverev, and Sinner, all to advances plus 240.
Plus 240. What? Hold on a second
It's
here.
not bad.
You're going to be fun poisoned again? You want Arthur Ferry to go out?
You're
going to root against this guy?
Can you believe this?
No, I can't. Who can?
Zverev he's $8. The guy's in the semifinals. He's got another home game. The whole crowd's with him, and yet the number 2 player in the world's $8. So if he wins and he takes on Sinner will be a bigger favorite. So the guy is in the semifinals, and he's still 30-1 to win the tournament.
Sure he is.
Incredible.
Well, 500-1 to win. I'm sure that there were bigger numbers than that out there.
Yes.
He joins 4 other tennis players on the men's side who actually made the semis at 500-1 or more going back to 2010.
Oh, I did not know that. Strong. Yeah. He's the 3rd player outside the top 100 to reach the Wimbledon semis over the last 40 years. And he's the 4th guy to get there in a major on a wild card. I remember Connors, 91 U.S. Open. Remember getting the crowd fired up and going crazy? Yes. And
so good.
And Nigel has a great story about this tomorrow. Ivan Isavic, as a wild card, won Wimbledon in 2001.
Oh, I loved me some Goran Ivanisevic.
Oh, that first serve was unstoppable.
Of course.
Nigel was an odds compiler, and he's put the number out, and they got buried on that. He'll tell the story tomorrow.
On Ivanisevic?
Yes. Great, because he watched him play like in a tournament before, and he broke every single racket in his bag. He goes, this guy's clearly not in right frame of mind. And he comes
but he can serve 150 miles an hour, so good luck with that.
Right. But he's getting better, right? He takes out a top 10 player today in straight sets. He skunked him in the final set. No problem. His dad's a multi-millionaire hedge fund guy. His mom was a former pro, grew up right down the street, gets bloody noses on a regular basis, has to play with the cotton, and he got 3 bloody noses in the last match.
While he's playing,
Yeah.
he gets the bloody noses.
I think we all know someone like that would happen. I went to high school with Aaron Page. He'd get them all the time, just out of nowhere.
I'll be honest. When I first moved to Las Vegas, it's a completely different climate. I'm coming from 6 months of winter, which absolutely stunk in the Midwest, and hot and humid in the summertime, to out here in the desert. I got bloody noses all the time. I couldn't stop them. Like, is this going to be like a weekly thing now for me?
Yeah.
Because this part of moving out here is I'm going to have to rethink things now.
Yeah, what do you do?
But they stopped eventually, so I was like, it just took me some time to acclimate to the new climate, I guess.
This guy's getting ready for his second serve, and there's a crime scene on his shirt. How bad it is.
See his size there.
Yeah, he's the 5th British man to make the semis in the Open era, the first unseeded British player to do so, man or woman, and ranked 114th coming into the tournament.
Well,
this is bonkers.
This is really fun to talk about. In fact, I have a parlay I want to throw at you, Paulie, coming up in about 10 minutes here. I had one last night where it was France, Spain to advance along with Argentina, and guess what the loser was?
Dodger bullpen.
Yep, Dodgers got me.
Dodger bullpen again. Come on, guys.
So 3 runs allowed late in that game to the Rockies, and the Dodgers lost 4-3. Here would be my fear about that. Zverev, what if he has a cramping issue? And you're laying $8 with a guy, and all of a sudden, okay, it's in the 4th set. I can't continue.
Yeah.
Has an injury.
Yeah. 17-1 in majors this year.
Oh.
So still the great story with the kid, but Ferry's up against it. Right. He's got to go against it. And then Sinner's up to $5 against Joker in the other semifinal.
Didn't he open 360?
Yes, he did.
So they're taking nonstop money on Sinner.
Yes.
But again, those are the perils of sports betting. It happens every single. It's like for people who want the refunds when a guy gets injured in an NBA game, you can always bet the under.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That is a possibility.
Do you make a case though? Because with the home court advantage, I mean, all those people are on his side. They're going crazy for him.
Well,
if that's a big deal, and maybe it could mess with the opponent's head.
Sure. I thought Mexico had a pretty good home field advantage on Sunday night. Didn't matter.
Yep.
They did not win that match. I mean, this would be. I mean, what are the comparisons here for a 500-1 shot? I mean, you think about the worst team in the NFL right now. They're not even 500-1 to win the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's as long as it's going to get. It's any of these teams that were complete. I mean, think about this. When Ecuador was late against Germany, they were 500-1 to win the World Cup.
Mm-hmm.
And I would say
that puts it in perspective, right?
Yeah.
Right. I mean, even Connors, though. Connors was an old man at that point. And we beat Eric Krickstein, who we beat. And then I think he ran into Sampras. I can't remember. But that goes back to why it wasn't going to happen with Connors, because he had to junk the game up. He change my shoes, take my time, whatever.
Right. Oh, yeah, sure.
But this, to be the young kid is able to do this. And he said the last time he beat a top 10 player, it did a lot for his confidence also.
By the way, the ratings came in for the match on Monday night in Seattle, USA and Belgium, 42 million. Imagine if that was a competitive match.
Yes.
So if you found that number at 32 million at some prediction markets that coasted, what do you think we were going to get? We were going to be live on the air on Friday during that match.
I know. Yeah, but you said it, though. The Monday Night Football helped. I think the start time was going to hurt us Friday. At noon on a Friday. I think that would have hurt the numbers. And also, we got several emails about why aren't we getting USA? Why aren't we getting these games in prime time? Why is England getting the games in prime time? People have a big problem with the noon and the 1 o'clock starts here coming up on
Thursday and Friday. Yeah.
So maybe, but I cannot believe that NBA, NHL, MLB, never highest ratings ever. Nothing in the history of the sport has ever touched that rate, a 42 million number. What we did. So what was it going to be 60 on Friday? Was it going to take a step back because people were still going to be at work and they didn't plan ahead? Or I think the noon start Friday may have hurt the numbers.
Yeah, it's certainly possible. And I mean, this was the ultimate storm, though, right? To play in this country and have it perfectly set up for us with the time zone.
Yeah.
Because when they play in different pockets of the world, you got to wake up at 2:00 in the morning, so that's going to drive away plenty of people. But I think if they had won one more game, and then even, my God, they shocked the world, beat Spain, and they're playing in the semis, that would have been midweek against France. Maybe France. What are we talking then? Are we going to touch 100 million people in the summertime? Yeah. Is that possible?
Now we're talking Tuesday at noon, though. I don't think it was going to get that high.
Yeah, that's probably a little outlandish, but
Super Bowl, you're talking 140 million people.
Yeah.
Don't
Well,
think you can
if
touch
they
that.
made the World Cup finale, which again, this is a pipe dream that we're talking about now, that would be on a Sunday. Then all bets are off.
Yeah.
Then the whole country is going to be watching.
Yeah. I'd say if we played Spain on a Saturday afternoon, I'd say we make a better case.
By the way, one observation coming in here to the sports book today. It's like 115 this week in Las Vegas, and it's we have this heat wave across the entire country. The Giants game started at 12:45 locally.
Yes, right. I saw this.
Did you see this?
Yes.
So the Giants are playing the Blue Jays. By the way, Logan Webb, my God, he did not want June to end. He allowed a grand slam, 5 earned runs, at least already in the first inning. The broadcasters have like 3 layers of jackets on. I lived there for 2 years. The summertime, you had to have like multiple jackets with you in June or July. And then you would have unbelievable weather like in February and October. I couldn't believe it when I was there.
Yeah.
The Giants broadcast crew, they have like a fleece on and a quarter zip and like a hood,
Yeah.
whatever. I'm like, what the hell? It's 60 degrees in
Yeah.
San Francisco.
Yeah. Mark Twain. Coldest winter I ever spent was a summer in San Francisco.
It's unbelievable. It's so
How
true.
good is that?
Yeah. Very accurate. When I lived there, I could not believe it. I thought I was going to have to scrape the windshield when I get up like at 4 o'clock in the morning in July. Bonkers, man. You would have to dress like that going to games at that park during the summertime. It was lunacy.
Yep.
So I'm going to present 4 sporting events going on this week across 3 different sports. Which leg burns this parlay to the ground? That's coming up on Follow the Money. It's VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
So you're listening to this podcast because you want an edge. But what if I told you you're only halfway there? You've got the mindset. Now it's time to get the toolkit to match. Here's the thing. Pro bettors spend thousands on data and tools, but what they don't want you to know is you can get the same edge for a fraction of the cost with VSiN Pro. With VSiN Pro, you get access to expert picks, public betting data, prop projections, powerful tools, analytics, and more. Tap the link in the description and see why thousands of bettors are already using VSiN Pro to cash more bets.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
More World Cup action here. No action today, unfortunately. First time in 28 days. But we go out to the Progressive guest line. We will discuss the quarterfinals, which will begin tomorrow. France and Morocco. Dallin Cuff has been awesome on this show, other shows throughout the entire tournament, and he joins the Progressive guest line right now. He's with Turner Sports. Hey, Dallin, thanks for the time today. How are you?
Fellas, I'm in withdrawal. Like, we had almost a month of just nonstop action. It's been weird to not have a game to watch today, but excited for the quarterfinals.
It's funny. That's exactly how we started the show today. It doesn't feel right. We need some games here. What was going on in your brain when you were watching that debacle on Monday night?
Oh, boys, there was a lot happening there. First of all, my wife, who played college soccer, we were in Charleston visiting her family, and a lot of her friends came down too. So I was forced to watch this game in a party atmosphere that I said I didn't want to be at initially, because it could go south.
Yeah.
60 seconds in, I was like, this is not good. I mean, Matt Freese had an insane save with 57 seconds into the game that I was like, this isn't. I could not believe the lack of juice they had, the lack of life. And then I started to think more about this in the last 36 hours. We have questioned this team's leadership, especially that young core. Your Pulisic, your McKennie, obviously Tyler Adams. I think is a good leader. Just was lifeless in this game as well. But how to get yourself out of a funk when you're tested with real adversity and you really get punched in the mouth? How do you turn it around? And we've talked about this on the show. In soccer, usually the guys in the field got to figure it out. Well, the hydration breaks have offered a reset.
Hey, Dallin, hold tight. Little scratchy there. We're going to reconnect in a second. That's the phenomenal angle by him. You have to be careful in big games like that, watching around a party atmosphere in case it goes sideways. I have thought about, dude, I don't like watching big games with many people at all, especially if I have action on the game. I kind of want to be at home on the couch. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And I've done sports books for 25 years out here for big moments, but so I've done it all, but
Chiefs Eagles was tough. Patriots Rams was tough.
Yeah.
Nothing happened in that game.
No.
We talked about earlier in the week. But for the USA angle, that is, you don't want to be around people when it's a bloodbath.
Dallin, we got you back now. Continue with what you were saying there about that match.
Yeah, sorry about that. The leadership that we'd questioned before just showed up non-existent again, and it got a little better after the hydration break. They did score a goal off the one time they had a decent move. They got a foul up there, but I think part of the challenge of this team is they built up in their mind. Pulisic talked about this for years now of changing the way Americans view soccer. That was their goal. That goal is no other country has that goal. Every other country just wants to represent their country well and win the thing and go as deep as you can and be remembered for providing great moments. This like lofty goal, I feel like they crumbled under the weight of that with 37 million people watching. This is the most we've ever had watch a soccer game in this country. And the fact that this Belgium team presented some challenges for them they couldn't solve. And they looked like deer in the headlights. And I feel like that moment was too big for them. They built it up in their heads. They knew that they'd win this, that helped make that a rival. Their goal should have always just been, we got to win freaking games. We win games, the byproduct of that. Well, Americans will look at soccer differently. But if we win games and play our way, we can change things. You started to do that. And when you had the biggest audience, the biggest opportunity, you put up a brick where you just didn't fight. And that's been the hardest thing, I think, for most people I've talked to is to go out, the way they represented our country and the way they played the first 4 matches. You can take Turkey out of it because big change, but they still played hard. You represented America well, and you help people want to gravitate to the sport and to this event. Go out like Cabo Verde. Go out like Mexico.
Yes.
Canada lost 3-0, but Canada played. They just lost. They didn't play well enough. Okay, you lose 3-0. But to go out the way we went is the worst. That was the worst exit of anybody in the round of 16. You could argue the worst exit of anybody in the knockout round. That was one of the worst games of the tournament in terms of competitiveness. That is what's being hard to stomach right now.
Awesome answer.
Mm-hmm. Well said.
Okay.
I think it's time to put up a prop. Will Spain concede in the tournament? So do you think what happens now against Belgium? We're over 600 minutes here now without allowing a goal.
I know. I don't want to fall into that trap. And it's less about Spain not allowing a goal. It's the way that Spain plays, and they can control a game when they control the ball. That's part of how their defense has been so good, is that their offense hasn't been as prolific as you may want, but they do possess the ball, and they dominate possession. They limit your chances. So my play actually here is both teams to score no. It's minus 105. I think yes is minus 120. So you're looking at basically a close to a coin flip situation here, where I'm not sure Belgium has. Obviously, most of our country just watched Belgium score 4 goals. Well, we gave them 3 of the goals, guys. Literally gave them 3 of those goals. So that really doesn't show me anything. And I'm interested to see the lineup changes. I do credit Rudy Garcia. When he played the U.S., he took out some of their biggest name stars, Kevin De Bruyne, Doku, Lukaku. He went with younger, more agile, more aggressive dudes that were able to win a lot of second balls and help them bypass our press. That's a different challenge with Spain. I think you're going to look at a game that may look similar to Portugal, and Spain's comfortable in playing in some of those games. Can they have that magical moment? They want to mute your offense with their ability to control the ball. May not be the most entertaining game, but I think ultimately Spain will advance in this game, in a game that I could see be 1-0, maybe 2-0. I do not like both teams to score. Like I said, that's my play against Belgium.
Very good. Follow the money here on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. Our guest, Dallin Cuff, Turner Sports. He's on the Progressive guest line. I don't know which match is my favorite going into the quarters, but England and Norway could be an absolute banger here. I've gone back and forth 1,000 times on this match. What do you make of it?
Yeah, this is. I'm on this Norway team. I like what they've shown. I now England. It was one of the guttiest performances we've seen all year to go on all tournament, to go to Mexico City, where obviously El Tri outplayed them for the first 35, 40 minutes, and they were down 2-0. Like, that shows you when you have those clinical guys. Bellingham was great. Kane obviously scored as well. Like, they will pop up in critical moments. But I like this Norway team. I think their ability to be cohesive. Some of the injuries, obviously a red card issue for the England, I think could be a little problematic. Norway feels like a team where it's not like England look at themselves in the mirror, but when you give Haaland one chance, he's just finding a way, and he can have he is Kane-like in that, but Kane will drop deeper and want to be involved more in the play. Haaland usually will stay high, and he can have 2 touches in 30 minutes, but he can have 2 goals in those 30 minutes. Like, it's how he plays the game as a poacher, as a finisher, as popping up in the biggest moments. I like Norway in this game. I don't necessarily know if they win, but I like the double the chance value here. You can get them in the 90 minutes to draw or to win at minus 110. And I've liked that play a lot, as I've told you guys before, with these underdogs in this knockout phase here. To take double the chance, you're getting some good value. Now, that's minus money. Most of those double the chances I've taken are plus money. Mm-hmm. And all they got to do is get you to the extra time. I think Norway here is going to be an absolute handful. I think they can advance, but I think the value on them is really in that 90-minute window. once you get past that, once you get to PKs, anything could happen if it goes that far. But they also could win this game in regulation. I think their team, they know exactly who they are. They are complete. They've got good fan support, and it's going to be an outstanding atmosphere. And I think Norway can show up in this moment.
Who do you like to win the Golden Boot at this point? Incredible race. Can't get enough of it.
It's great. And of course, the third place game does factor. So keep that in mind. But I still can't get past France. I think this France-Morocco game is going to be great. And I think I think they're going to end up in the final. And because I think that, I lean toward Mbappe. And anytime you're betting the Golden Boot, also want to take your penalty takers. Obviously, maybe Messi doesn't matter because he can just miss penalties and score bangers later in the game. But you have Mbappe who will be their penalty taker. If Haaland will be their penalty taker, Messi is, as I just kind of alluded to in the joke. But you want to make sure those guys are critical and those guys are in the race. So I would think Mbappe is where I would lean. That third place game will factor, but France is just so supremely talented, and he has the best players around him to facilitate for him. Like Michael Olise is a guy that people that watch a lot of soccer really know him, but I mean, I'm sure people have seen him pop up. Some of the passes he is threading, some of the vision he has, and the threat that he poses. I mean, think about France. Ousmane Dembele is the reigning World Player of the Year. He's almost an afterthought. He scored a hat trick earlier in the tournament. Like, he's not even talked about. Like, they are spoiled for choice, especially the attacking end, but they're very solid in the back as well. So I think France, it's tough for me to take them out of that final. And because of that, I like Mbappe there. Argentina and Messi, the reason I can't bet Messi, although he's pulled rabbits out of the hat and that team has, guys, this is 2 straight games that you deserve to go home.
Yeah, sure.
And I know there is that element at times, especially in tournaments. We see it in the NCAA tournament a lot, where you survive that one, you go on to win. You can go Tyus Edney at 94 against Missouri. You can point out 15 different examples of teams surviving, advancing, and then winning the whole thing. This is hard in soccer to keep pulling this off. And Switzerland's going to play. This is going to be, I think, a grinded out game. There is no value in the under. That would be another one you could look at both teams to score no, but there's not much value in that either, given how Switzerland is defended, not just in this tournament, but prior to that. Argentina has struggled, though. They have leaked goals, so it's hard to be confident in it. And I think there's a situation where, it's crazy as it is, I wouldn't want to bet Messi because that means I'm betting Argentina, I think, to get to the final.
Sure.
And I just don't feel great about that given where they've been.
Totally fair. We could talk to you all day long. In like 30 seconds here, what did you make of the goal by Egypt that was disallowed yesterday?
We're re-refereeing the matches, guys. This is what we're doing here. We do that partially part of the Flo Balogun situation, which became a debacle and became where the world was against us because we got FIFA just being as corrupt as they. We solved injustice with injustice. I think I told you guys that last week. But you re-refereed that play and he got a red card. You re-refereed this. They had to speed up the review because it was so far back from what happened.
Yeah.
The referee made a mistake. He should have called a foul. He didn't. They then went 110 yards the other way and had 2 great passes and an awesome finish, and we're taking that away. This is not how VAR is supposed to be used. We've misused it throughout the tournament. The problem is, because they've set this precedent, we're going to keep misusing it all the way to July 19th, which I don't love.
Awesome as always, Dallin. Thank you. Enjoy the matches this week. We'll talk soon.
All right, boys. See you next week.
Follow him on X as well, at Dallin Cuff, Turner Sports. Win, lose up next. You know it's a career day when he was 100-1 to cash this ticket.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
All right, let's reset this right now. Dylan Cease down to plus 275 to throw a no-no, and he just walked Rafael Devers. He's approaching 100 pitches. What do you think, Paul? You said this might be it for him at the end of this inning.
Yeah, I think they'll let him finish the inning, but see what can happen here if he can get a double play or how many pitches we're looking at here. So, yeah, you're right, approaching 100, and he's only got 1 out.
Okay.
Lee's up now.
Yeah, let's go to the Progressive guest line. Mike Palm joins the program now. He is the VP of Circa Las Vegas, the Golden Gate, and the D. Hey, Mike, thanks for the time as always. He is plus 275. Now, this is the Blue Jays, not just Cease. Would you want any piece of that at all at this point?
Oh, you get the whole team for a combined no-hitter?
Yep.
Yeah, 275. I don't think that's that bad of a price. Get Cease through 7, then you got to come with the bullpen. That's reasonable, 3-1, something like that. It's a fun sweat.
Yeah.
We don't want to replay what happened with the Marlins.
Come on. They give up 8. The bullpen gives up 8 in the last 2 innings, and they still win. What a joke.
Yes. Perfect game.
Well, are we at the point that can we just get our heads to think that no hitters and perfect games are kind of meaningless? Like if they don't care about them, why should we?
Well,
Yeah.
the thing is, the complete games don't exist anymore.
Yeah.
That's the problem. And Steve Stone was asked by Shriffen, the worst male play-by-play guy in the game, about the combined no-hitter. And he said, what's the historical significance of a combined no-hitter? And Steve Stone said there is none. Unless one guy throws it, it's meaningless. Can I talk about something else that's a complete joke before we get going here today? Doesn't Rob Manfred know this is the one day of the year, the one day of our summer, the World Cup has no games, and you got one day game on a Wednesday where you normally have 6? What is going on? Does this guy ever watch games?
I noticed that too when we were getting ready for the show. Like last night, I'm like, one day game on a Wednesday and it starts at like 1 o'clock Pacific. What happened here?
Awful.
Impossible. He can't read the room, can he?
No, never has.
No. Okay, so of the 4 matches coming up beginning tomorrow, do you have a best bet at all in the quarters of the World Cup?
Well, I think they're all really compelling matchups. I think Norway advances. I've been on this Norway team since beforehand. I just think the price dictates that. I think they will not be intimidated. They have Premier League players. They played with these guys that play on England. As good as Harry Kane is, I think Holland's a better 9. And I think at the price that you're going to get to advance on Norway, I think is an awfully good bet. I don't know what to make of Argentina. I can't get involved in Argentina games. They seem to they play on the edge so much. I mean, I thought Colombia had a lot of opportunities. I thought Colombia had a really good shot to get through to a semifinal, but couldn't get the job done, couldn't get a goal in there. So I passed on that match. I like Morocco a lot, but I think they're up against it with the best team in France. I do like that game over because I think Morocco knows they're going to have to score 2+ goals to have any shot of beating France. So I think you can play overs and maybe even alt overs with Morocco and France. And then Spain's just not going to concede a goal. No. I mean, I would continue to bet Spain. You can bet Spain to advance. I think you take a shot at Spain to win to 0-90 as well.
Is this the easiest path you're ever going to see with Argentina to get to the semis? This is unbelievable.
I've never seen anything like it.
Yeah.
You get the tiny islands, and then you get Egypt, and then you get Switzerland. I mean, it's pretty amazing when on the other side you get all the superpowers on that top half of the bracket. We talked about that.
No kidding.
You try to find value in the bottom half of the bracket for a team to make the finals or to win it. And you had your different shots, whether it was Mexico or England or Norway or Brazil. However you wanted to take those shots, they were there.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Bruce Marshall came on the other day. He's been betting soccer for a long, long time, and he loves the sport. He actually presented a case that the Swiss could be dangerous, and that was going into the Colombia match, and I think even beyond that. Can you buy into that narrative at all?
Look, I don't think that Argentina is going to be a slam dunk against anybody. I mean, look, I've watched a lot of VAR reviews in my life, and it's rare that you're going to go back that far to find a foul 120 yards from the play, right? And then when they had the same argument, there was a similar penalty against them 110 yards back, they wouldn't even take a look at it. I do think that Egypt on the merits there probably got the short end of that stick. And, where I never felt that Cape Verde was going to beat Argentina, I thought that Egypt had a very legitimate chance to beat them yesterday. And they allow teams. If the Swiss get in front in this game, it's not going to be easy to score against them as they have been against some of these other squads. I think there's a case to be made, at least for the Swiss advancing in this game. I don't know if they can get by the England-Norway winner.
Okay. Well, what about on the other side of the bracket then? How would you envision, if we get this matchup, how would you envision, and by the way, it looks like the Blue Jays got out of it now in the 7th, and the no-no is still intact. The way it looks, yep. Okay. How do you think a France-Spain matchup would go?
Well, that's what everybody's been looking forward to, right? That was from the time that the groups were announced that was going to be the huge semifinal and maybe a de facto final. I as much as I love Spain, you do have a couple of elite scorers. They have a puncher's chance. I still think France is the better team because of the depth that they have. They can beat you in so many different ways and so many different styles. And they, 3, 4, 5 guys that can score in an elite level. I think it's a really tough matchup. I would play it under because I think Spain has to try to keep the game low scoring in a spot like that, but I would still lean France and probably play anywhere up to 145, 150 on France to advance out of that matchup.
You always joke about how many meetings you have to sit in, but I will say the creativity and at least the work's getting done at Circa in all these meetings that you have. The stuff on social at Stadium Swim with the SS Feast and the bottle service and everyone going crazy for the soccer matches. Also what it looked like inside. The Love Island party on Sunday, and then you're doing Slots-a-Palooza again with the open bar and all the free play. What's going on? Can you take us through all the different events coming up at Circa?
Yeah, you know, it's funny. You say, oh, Mexico got knocked out and the USA got knocked out, and now we're going to go through a lull. I mean, you've got a huge UFC card on Saturday. You also have 2 World Cup matches. Sunday, we have this Love Island finale. We did this for the first time last year on a Tuesday, and I think they had 1,900 people show up at Stadium Swim. Probably most of them who have never been there before, right? But they're just the social, and it's a heavy female mix, a very heavy female mix, and it's probably 75% females. I guess this show goes like 6 out of 7 days a week. They skip one day a week, and there's a new show every night. I don't follow it, but it's some big sensation. And then the next weekend, we have what you mentioned, Paul, the Slots-a-Palooza. We did it last year. It's a free tournament Friday night for the invited guests, for our hosted players. They have the manufacturers coming out and showing some of their new games that they're going to have at G2E. And then Saturday, you've got that free slot tournament from 11 to 7. You got all these giveaways from the different manufacturers. You're going to have the open bar again in the evening. And then the weekend after that, I think we have a video poker tournament. It never ends. There's always something new happening each week.
Doesn't stop. Great to talk to you again. We really hope that your father-in-law is improving, Mike. Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks, guys.
Take care.
Be good.
They gave away 3 cars over the weekend as well.
Yep.
Another incredible giveaway. You are correct. He got out of it in the 7th, but he's at 106 pitches.
Okay, I got the game log in front of me right now. He has pitched more than 106 pitches a bunch of times this year, but not much more. I mean,
this is it, though.
So it was he pitched 107 pitches on June 27th in 4 2/3. Mike joked about this before the break, before he came back from the break. Normally, he's at 90 pitches through 4 innings. So he's at 106 through 7 right now. He was at 110, 5 2/3 on June 22nd, 108 through 5 innings, 100 pitches through 5 innings back on May 19th against the Yankees, 106 pitches, 7 innings against the Twins, and they won that game 11-4. 107, 110, 106. So he's right at that number. He's got a no-no going. And all of those games were 5 innings, 6, or fewer than that.
Yeah. Well, remember Johan Santana. You can't get carried away here.
Well, I don't want to. They probably won't let him go 140 pitches here, but I would let him test the waters here for one more inning. Remember Tim Lincecum when he threw that no-hitter? I think he threw 149 pitches.
Was it?
Yeah. Yep.
Ooh.
I think you do it one more here, and he was throwing a lot of balls in that inning, so the pitch count it racked up there a little bit. But
or they're at the middle of the order. He walked Devers and then got the next 2 guys out.
You give him one more batter to see how it goes.
That's a tough call. You can't do the ask him how he feels. You know what he's going to say.
Yeah.
I feel great. He wants to go out there, so I think you have to protect him against himself here. Well, that's just too much.
Yeah, I referenced this earlier. If he does this, and if they would leave him in, and he pulls it off, voters can look back at this and say, "Hey, he had that no hitter."
Well, I feel good for him, right? He's had a hell of a year. No
sure,
doubt.
he has.
I mean, the up and downs and how some bad performances in the White Sox. Like he had all the stuff the kid should dominate.
Yeah, and finally we're seeing it here with Toronto. Every 4 years, we discuss if it should be played every 2 years. Real or Fugazi coming up on Follow the Money. It's VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
That's what I always say. You always follow the money. Yeah.
This is Follow the Money with Mitch Moss and Paulie Howard on VSiN.
All right, we have some serious action going on right now. One-day game today in Major League Baseball, and Dylan Cease has a no-no through 8 innings up in the Bay Area. He has 11 strikeouts. He's at 115 pitches. That was a terrible inning by the batters for the Giants. It's like they want him to get the no-hitter. They never made him work whatsoever. At DraftKings right now, he's plus 110. Well, I should say the Blue Jays to throw no-hitter is plus 110. FanDuel is now at minus 170. They had 7 to 1 when DK had 4 to 1. And they're like, yeah, it's going to happen.
Wow. It is the bottom of the order.
And there's a home run the way it looks by the Blue Jays.
Yeah.
Okay, you got to bring him out. 115 pitches. Again, no-brainer here. We go out to the Progressive guest line. Zach Cohen joins the program now. Follow him on X, at Betting on X. Does a great job with the daily write-ups at vsin.com. Zach, thank you for the time. Do you want a little plus 110 at DK right now and the Blue Jays to finish off this no-no?
I wish I felt good about it. I mean, 117 pitches, though. This is like Billy Chappell and For Love of the Game. He's got nothing left.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, it's good. I can't get enough of this Arthur Ferry story. And he was ranked 114th. He beats Cabale, who was ranked 9th. He beat him in straight sets. It was 6-love in the third set. The guy's in the semifinals as a wild card. He was 500 to 1. And even though he's in the semis, he's still 25, 30 to 1 to win the tournament because he's got to play number 2 and likely number 1 to the next 2 matches.
Yeah, this is something that I tweeted about like an hour and a half ago or 2 hours ago. But like, you look at what he had done prior to this tournament, and he had lost to some shaky players on grass before arriving at Wimbledon. Like Bouillon Choquette is a player outside the top 100. Lost to Francisco Cerundolo, who's not a great grass court player. Lost to his brother, Juan Manuel Cerundolo, who's also not a great player. This is just really, really shocking. Like there was, a precedent with like a wild card, going out and winning a U.S. Open in Emma Raducanu. That was, a little bit different. Like that was somebody that, was promising and actually had the potential to be a top 10 player. This is something that we have not really seen before, and it's going to end. I don't really see him completing the job and going out to beat, Alexander Zverev and either Jannik Sinner or Novak Djokovic, but it has been fascinating to watch.
How do you bet it? Can you take the plus games? Can he? I mean, the guy's an $8 favorite, but this guy's got the whole stadium and whole city behind him, what he's doing, because he's a local, and it's so impressive what he did here to beat a top 10 player in straight sets.
Yeah, my head says that if you want to bet this match, you're going to want to go with Zverev to win in straight sets. That is the boring play, though. Like, I do feel like on the court, there are just so many advantages that Zverev has. Not only is he just like a foot taller than him, but you're talking about one of the best servers in the world against a very shaky server. One of Ferry's biggest strengths is his backhand, and Zverev has one of the best backhands in the world, if not the best. So it's just going to be really hard for Ferry to find a way to win points, but I would not blame you if you just decided I'm going to grab him to win a set just for the fun of it. Yeah, I would not take money line, though.
It's going to be great Friday. Sinner Open 360, up to $5 against Joker. What do you think about this match?
Yeah, so I actually have some Joker to win the tournament at plus 900, but I was hoping he would get through to this match with a little less work on the court than what we've seen over the last couple of matches. I know the Felix one was out of control, over 5 hours on court there, but you also look at his match against Roman Safulin, Arthur Rinderknecht. These are matches that also took a little bit longer than they should have, and I think that ultimately is going to do Djokovic in. I wouldn't be surprised if he really puts up a good fight in sets 1 and 2, but I think that if you look back to what happened in Australia, there were a lot of things that favored Djokovic heading into that match, with one of them being he had a complete walkover in the 4th round against Jakub Menchik, did not have to play a match at all. Then he was supposed to play Lorenzo Musetti in the next match, and it only went 3 sets because Musetti had to retire, up 2-0 in that match. So he was really not on the court at all. He was completely fresh. That obviously helps a player his age, and it allowed him to go out there and compete with Sinner. But even if you just look at that match itself, in addition to just having the rest advantage, Sinner was 2 for 18 on break point opportunities in that match. He was just not capitalizing on his chances. I think this match is going to be different. I think Sinner's going to find a way to beat him and cover the game spread, which is high. It's 5.5. I know that it might be hard to lay that many games against a player like Djokovic, but I just feel like his legs are going to give out on him. And Sinner, for as shaky as it has looked at the point in time at this tournament, Like there have been some really close sets, but he has won 12 straight sets. Like he's winning and finding ways to advance.
Very good breakdown. How about the women's semis, which will begin tomorrow morning? Coco Gauff is even money, maybe even a little bit better than that. Some other spots. Do you have any interest in her whatsoever, or any betting advice for the other match?
So I actually really like Muchova in that match at minus 118. I think that Gauff has been awesome throughout this tournament, has really made some major strides with her serve and her forehand, but those are two shots that have let her down in the past. And Muchova has very few holes in her game, if any. And the one thing kind of getting in her way in this matchup has been the head-to-head history where Gauff had just dominated her up until their last matchup in Stuttgart. And Muchova finally found a way to beat her on clay. And now I think that erases kind of the mental demons she would enter this match with. So I think Muchova is the right play. I just feel like she does a little bit more at a higher level than Gauff does. Would also add that, like, it seems like there's some sharp money on Muchova because Gauff opened at minus 110, and it looks like she's getting like 75% of the tickets and the money. But you're seeing that odds moving away from her with her now being available at plus money odds.
I'm with you. She's won 9 in a row on grass, and it just feels like Gauff finally makes the semis here and bows out. $78 million in trades on the LeBron market at Kelce. Do you believe the Shams report that it's down to Philly, Cleveland, and Miami?
I believe those are the final three. I thought the Warriors had a real shot at one point just because we did see Draymond opt out of that contract. But seeing the way it's going now, everyone's saying Cleveland, and I just think it's going to be the Cavaliers in the end. You just kind of think about the basketball fit and the fit from like a storyline perspective. It'd be surprising if he goes anywhere else. I understand that like there's a whole power forward on that Sixers roster, but what connection does he have to Philly or that team? I don't want to hear about Tyrese Maxey being a clutch, represented player. That means nothing to me. I feel like going back to Cleveland is the way that he goes back to a contender while avoiding the scrutiny of joining and hopping on another bandwagon team.
Well, what do you have you added any like at prediction markets on him to go to Cleveland? I have a bad number. I got him like at 50%. He's lower than that now to go to the Cavaliers.
I haven't thought about that at all. No, I've seen the odds have moved now to a pretty unfavorable price. What I have thought about, though, is I do think that they are pretty live to win the Eastern Conference if they do get LeBron. I just feel like you slot him in where Dean Wade was last year, and you're talking about a team that their major problem against the Knicks last season was their inability to close games and just kind of a lack of focus at certain points. LeBron fixes pretty much everything that team desperately was lacking last year. So I do feel like this is one situation where he goes there and they do kind of jump into contention, whether that be in the Eastern Conference or for the NBA Finals.
Mitch had a problem with the Donovan Mitchell contract. Others are saying he's not a superstar. You can't pay a guy $70 million a year. What'd you think of the deal?
I think it's way too high for Donovan Mitchell, but I just don't know what your alternative is for these teams. It's like you're going to let the guy go or you're going to go try to trade him. And now you see with like the Jaylen Brown move, the market for these players is not what it once was when they are on these contracts. So I feel like these teams are in really bad spots. I do feel like the new kind of second apron stuff and the Supermax stuff has really been awful for the NBA. Like just think about the lack of free agency. There's a lot of trades. That's fun, but there are no big players kind of making it to free agency anymore. And the whole process just seems terrible.
Yeah. How about Summer League tomorrow night out here in Las Vegas? What a banger. They always do this, right? Pick one versus pick two right away to start the event. And we're going to get Debansa and the Wizards taking on Peterson and the Jazz. Now, we played Peterson's comments after they took on Memphis the other night, and he said, I know that Boozer's going to come out and have an agenda, and I can't let that ride. I think that he's going to come out with a major edge tomorrow night as well. I mean, we have to look at Peterson's points props, do we not?
Yeah, I think that both guys are super competitive. I feel like all of these players at the top of this draft were very aware of everything that was being said about them heading into it. So they all kind of come into Vegas with major chips on their shoulders. I will say, like, I have some interest in Utah on the money line or on the spread. Like, it's -1.5 right now. I do feel like the Jazz not only have, the top pick in Peterson, whereas, Debansa is the top pick for the Wizards, but I think Utah has the better overall roster. I also think Utah, with Cody Williams and Ace Bailey, they have some big bodies that they could throw at Devontae, who will be playing his first game here. So I think the Jazz have a minor edge, especially with them having played some together in Salt Lake City. I feel like I was a little surprised to see the number that short.
Yeah. Are you on Jazz futures, by the way? Or is that only JVT and me?
I am not on Jazz futures. I was part of like the Jazz train where I was kind of texting with JVT and Kelly and just kind of telling him like, I really think this Utah team is going to be great next year. But I was waiting to see what the win total would be. And I was waiting to see what the odds would be for them to win the Western Conference after the offseason. Now it feels a little late, but I do think that team is really, really loaded.
Very good. You can follow Zach on X. He is at Betting on X, and he does awesome daily write-ups at vsin.com throughout the entire year. Zach, thank you. We appreciate it.
Thank you, guys.
Good work.
Cease is back out.
Here we go.
Top of the ninth, and he
Come on.
had a long time to think about it because they scored more runs, and that inning took a long time for the Blue Jays.
Worked out for him last inning, though.
It certainly did.
They had a long eighth.
All right, so
Uh-oh.
is that it? He broke it up.
Ah, come on.
Broke it up.
Ah, right up.
He was $1.85 at FanDuel. Doesn't happen. First guy in the ninth. Oh, well. Oh, that stinks.
Damn.
I'd like to see that kind of thing happen, but we'll dive into Major League Baseball coming up next. A lot of intriguing numbers on the betting board tonight. This is Follow the Money on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.